Okay. It's that time of the week again. You got those vocals ready, Catmandu? Warmed up a little earlier. Timmy, stat, deep.
Dive.
Jason Saab, boy can move. Talk to me.
Kat's getting better after a slow start to the year. She's getting there. He's a very interesting one this week, mate. And I already know where your head's going with you. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
But,
He's
mate,
a
when we hear about cash grabs, Saab, have you looked into him at all?
No, I'll tell you what I know. This is what I know will happen. Saab, he's going to have a break even of -30. He's making 4 line breaks a game. He's looking tremendous. I'll lock him in for a 16 this weekend as soon as you all get hyped about it.
Do you know what he's averaging?
74.
111.
That's fucked. He'll get 16 this week. He'll do it to you all again.
And he'll still make 100K.
Mad. He'll get 16. And he'll get 16. He'll get in. Something will happen with Jason Saab. It always does. I love the guy. He's a fucking freak. I keep on defending him, saying it's mad that he's added, like, coming out of his own, and everyone's like, no, he's just a fast guy. He's not. He's actually a good footballer. Supercoach wise, he's got the Jack Goslers to me that I just can't do because I know it's going to end poorly for me.
111-point average across 2 games. Keeping in mind the second of said games, they got pumped by the Warriors and he had like 4 line breaks or 5 line breaks, something stupid. Break even of -54. Now, everything you say is true, Roo. Like, there's volatile and then there's Jason Saab, who's almost in his own class with another bloke, Jesse Arthurs. But he's even more volatile than Jesse Arthurs, I reckon. But base of 21 this season, which adds up to what he had last season in base. Very ordinary. Needs the attack, we know that. But the attack's there. The big one with Jason Saab is, and this makes it even tougher for people, Tom Trbojevic has to be there, right? Like, if Tommy Turbo isn't there feeding him, and I haven't gone back through the 2 games and had a look at it, but I'm pretty confident every single one of his freaking line breaks, it nearly would have been Tommy Turbo throwing the ball. I went back to last season, small sample size, granted, with the injuries that these two have with the hammies between these blokes, dead set.
Yes.
4 games together last season, he averaged 42.25 points. There was some games, Saab, without Turbo in the back end of the year before, really soft games where he got some bigger scores, but I like the play if we knew Tom Trbojevic was playing, because he gets the Raiders this week, who have been really good, and, you know, they could win in Brookie this weekend. But defensively, their edges, I've never been confident in. They're a bit better this year so far, but I still don't have a lot of confidence in. Into Parramatta next week. Saab could easily go 100+ in that game again, gets a few price rises. You don't even have to play him in your 17. Your lack of interest right now around this is remarkable.
No, look,
the numbers are pretty. The case is pretty good,
mate. If you told me Ricky Stewart forgot to pick a left winger this weekend, I'd still have concerns about doing it. Like, I just, you know what, and you know what, you know why I'm just interested. I don't need cash in my CTWs. I feel like this year has been an absolute gold mine for cheapies. I just don't think I need to take the Saab risk. I'm happy not to do it. I think Timmy makes a really good point. If your cheapies are set and you're looking for something a little bit different to do, I think it's a very good play for you guys. I'm going to back my gut feel in here and just avoid. But the stats speak for themselves.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I'm the same. Like, I had 4 gun CT dubs last week. Actually, yeah, I probably should have brought this up at the top of the show, but dropped in the SC Playbook subscriber WhatsApp chat, but I ended up brushing Tom Gilbert after our chat last week.
What a fucking dog. What a dog. We had a nice bit of content. Cat slaved away for hours. Didn't get to see her family that night. It was just... She was here until midnight slaving away, and Timmy just goes, oh, no, I'm just going to do my own fucking thing. Fuck
I was wondering where that video went.
Honestly.
Yeah, sorry, Kat. I haven't apologised for that yet. But
that wasn't your apology.
Don't worry.
I looked into it more and more, and with major knock on Tommy Gilbert, who I was bringing in for Seyfarth. And I was bringing in for Charlie Geimer, I think it was, and I was going to give Seyfarth 1 more week. There were more pressing trades than Gilbert last week, who I think he's still a good buy, don't get me wrong. He went all right on the weekend, but I just thought, you know, the big minutes were a concern, lacking sort of any major upside. You're a bit reliant on base. More to the point, though, Roo, and the reason that I changed my tact was I knew there was going to be a lot of good trades this week, and I wanted to get ahead of the pack, and that was Tamale. So I got Tamale last week, took a little bit of a gamble there in terms of his job security, got him in, which has now freed one up for this week, and it's worked out fantastic. So circling back, Dylan Lucas went to my back row. I have 3 gun CT dubs, but my cheapies are all good there. So, like, I don't have room for him. But if you might have got a few of your gun CT dubs wrong early on and you need to move one of them on, I don't mind it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think if you went a guy like Selwyn Cobbo, maybe, I know a lot of people looked at him as a pod. He hasn't done too badly, but...
Mate, Cobbo's going good.
But, mate, he's scoring a handful of tries and not, like, he scored 3 tries in the first week and scored like 70, didn't he?
Listen to this. And you're right, but 85 points in round 1 with a hat-trick, which is horrific.
Yeah.
Round 2, 57 against the Raiders. They were pretty well beaten. He scored 1 try. My point is this round, Broncos players who, God knows how they respond to Madge this week. I think they towel up the Cows. This draw's ridiculous. Cowboys, Dolphins, Tigers, Roosters, and then Warriors. Those first 4 games are all at Suncorp.
Yeah, I worry about the Queensland Derby factor is something that I have concerns about, but I've never been a big Selwyn Cobbo guy when it comes to Supercoach though.
No, me either. I thought it was an unnecessary drive.
No, that's fair. Cobbo. Well, find me someone that hasn't been doing too well, and then maybe you can make that move.
Can I ask a question? So, for say I have Casey McLean, for example, and I'm trying to work out
just asking for a friend.
I'm asking. Say somebody had Casey McLean on their team, and obviously he's a risk factor. It's very he got called, like he's in the team list, but it's very likely he gets dropped.
There's a chance he gets dropped. Yeah.
Would say making a jump to like a Saab for a few weeks to get a bit of a cash grab, like would that be a good move for someone like me because I've got the cash there to do it?
I don't mind it at all, and you can play him. Provide Turbo's playing.
Well, I have Turbo, so I really need him to play too.
You can play him against the Raiders, you can play him against the Eels, and then you trade him a week or 2 after, potentially for a shitload and some real good points.
I really like the para play specifically.
The para play is so
enticing.
love
the para play.
If you don't have Tamale, would you go him over Saab?
No, I'd go Tamale.
Go Tamale. If you don't have Shibasaki.
Shibber all of a sudden with Stags back in that poor score last week doesn't look as good. So possibly,
Possibly, okay.
That's a strong possibly. Don't read into
Who's the other one? Toya.
No, I'd get Toya.
Yeah, okay.
So I have all 3 of the players.
And most people
do. Good. Most people do. But if you happen to miss one of them or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, I'm not anti the Jason Saab play. I'm going my gut call. I think there's other options that I'm happy to go with.
I'm going to dabble with it, guys.
Yeah, I don't mind it for
I'm
you.
dabbling.
Yeah.
I'm dabbling.
Greg, who's who in the Marzhew, talk to me. And thank you for making me get him at the start of the season. Let's rip that Band-Aid off. Because I know it's coming. And it's very warranted and it's very fair and I hate it. Proceed.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Bullshit.
Oh, my
Look like
goodness.
Luna Park sitting over there.
Greg the leg. You know the best thing about this? He's not getting that much more. He's getting more ball than last year, but not getting heaps more ball. He's just in beast mode.
Yeah.
84 average with just 1 try so far this season. On the weekend, 84 points, no try or assist, 20 runs, 9 tackle busts. Wait for the best bit, 6 offloads.
Yeah, he's on fire. I'll tell you what, I've been critical of AOB's coaching over the years, and if I could be critical of one more thing this week, what I would love to see is get Bradman Best and Greg Marzhew in a room and introduce them to each other, because I would love to see Bradman just give him some good ball at some point. But his scores have been incredible, but they could have been landslides.
He could be averaging 140.
100% he could be.
Like, surely at some point, AOB says to him, mate, you realise you got a winger there who is like unstoppable one-on-one / one-on-none.
Yeah. Give him a name tag. Make sure he's aware of him.
Something. Greg Marzhew, you get him one-on-none without a defender in front of him on the line. I'm backing him 7 out of 10 times to get it down.
Yeah, and unders. Heaps unders.
9 out of 10 against
9 out of 10. Like he's a juggernaut.
Against no defender.
Against no defender, I'm backing him.
There will be occasions where he finds a way to screw it up, but more often than not. To tell you the somewhat good thing about here for us, Roo, as Marzhew owners, I haven't checked his most recent ownership, but he was like, when we were chatting last week, like 20%.
Yeah.
-4 break even, so there's money incoming.
22%.
22%. So better cash generation buys this week, which people will probably prioritise. CT dubs for most are going well, so they'll be sitting there going, right, who do we trade to him? They've got the buy next week, so I think he'll be ultra popular I think he scores well against the Titans, surely. I think he'll be ultra popular in round 5, but if nothing else, he should make an extra 50-odd K by then. Little wins.
That looming buy is a little bit alarming for me. I'm going to be missing a few players though.
I've done my homework, Roo, for you, as usual.
Talk to me.
It's not too dramatic. So I have Lucas. Before round 1, when I decided to get Lucas in, I went, all right, I've got Ponga, Lucas, Marzhew, and I'm like, that round 4 buy is a bit of an issue. The CT dub matchups are fantastic. So let me go through them on the spot. The Roosters have the Titans. So Rob Toya, thank you.
Delicious.
Shibasaki, if he's still there, / Arthurs, depending if you're going the Arthurs route. He's got the Dolphins at Suncorp, another good matchup. The Raiders and Tamale, granted I didn't factor this one in prior to round 1, but have the Cowboys at QCB Stadium in Townsville. So all those ones, I was like, sweet, I can sit those players that week and at least know that I've got good matchups for my cheapy CT dubs.
Yep.
So we're very relieving.
That's good to hear. I love that. Fantastic news. Okay. Greg the Leg, done and dusted.
Yeah.
Our next man is Connor Tracy. 2 first names, but I love this fella. Looking good at fullback.
Few good little options. Like we've spoken about him the last couple of weeks, so I won't talk about Fletcher Sharp anymore, but just sitting there going, gee, he looks good.
Yeah.
He's dual CT dub fullback. I wish he was dual CT dub 5'8". Nonetheless, still a good buy. Connor Tracy touched on him the first couple of rounds, mate, and he's just... this is a bit speculative, but I feel like with Burton out, who so much of their attack centres around, you now have Bailey Hayward coming in at 5'8". I think Tracy has a bigger role in attack, doesn't he? Surely.
I think so, yeah.
90 in week 1, 63 in week 2 against the Titans. He scored a try both weeks. 6 tackle bust week 1, just a couple on the weekend. He's had, how good's that? 24 points in +2 hit-ups and 6 in +1 hit-ups both weeks. So what's that? 18 runs both weeks. Pretty good little buy.
Yeah, he if you get a box of favourites and everyone rushes to them and everyone takes the Tommy Turbos, the Latrells, the KPs, and at the end of it, you're normally left with a couple of Turkish delights and you go, fuck. Then you have a Turkish delight and you're like, these are actually mad. These are criminally underrated. That is Connor Tracy. He's a Turkish delight.
I don't know about this analogy because I think
it's perfect.
I think that the Turkish delight only tastes good because you want something and that's all that's left. You've dropped your standards.
Nah, they're mad. I stand by it. I think they're great. Okay. Would they be my first pick? No, I would Connor Tracy them and I'd leave them to the end as well. But then you get him, you're like, oh, this is actually pretty fucking good. That's Connor Tracy. There's so much more appealing things out there, but he'll do a job for you every single week. He has a bit of upside. He has more upside than you expect. He breaks tackles. He offloads. I'll never do it. I know I won't. I'll feast on those Morrows and all those shit early. But I get it.
Underrated, by the way.
Underrated?
A Morrow is underrated.
So underrated.
Like
The
they're
poor man's
actually
Mars
lit.
bar. They're great.
Yeah, they're lit.
Supercoach, talk to me. Connor Tracy. Good luck topping that.
I'm glad I witnessed that from you two.
Yeah.
I'm going to piss you both off straight off
Here
the
we go.
bat.
He's like an old gold chocolate guy. Or
No, I'm
something.
not that weird.
Oh, yeah, I love old gold. Shut up.
Okay.
Just a Dove white chocolate.
Nah, they're mad. I'll pay that.
Oh, Dream. Sorry,
Dream.
they've had,
Yeah,
all right,
they are
good.
good. Yeah.
Dove, that took me back though.
Yeah, they see Dove, didn't they?
Dove still getting into it?
No.
Not around?
I haven't seen Dove in
They're
years.
a bestseller in Cooma.
That's mad. It's actually a bar of soap Tim's been eating for the last 20 years.
What were we talking about? Connor Tracy.
Actually, we were talking about Turkish
You know
delight.
what? Fletcher Sharp and Connor Tracy are blokes I would love to go on, and in another year I would. But all my gun CT dubs, like Garrick, Marzhew, Tuivasa-Sheck, Dylan Lucas, who I've since shifted to to RF, and then all my 4 cheapies, they're all doing well. So I just don't have room for it because they're both dual CT dub fullback. So like if Sharp was at 5'8", it'd be a different story. If Sharp was at 5'8", I reckon I'd go Dill Brown to him this week, but he's not. So
Yeah, is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, our next one, Mark Nawanga Nitawase. Now, he's in my draft side, and I'm slowly starting to think he might be one of my better draft picks of the year. If Zach Hosking wasn't injured, I would be bringing him in this week. The Hosking one's forced my hand. I think at 400K, I think this is a huge pod play people can go with, and I absolutely love it. I am filthy Zach Hosking has got injured because it's just pushed me in other directions.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to basically use Nwanga Tawazi as an intro for you, but you've sort of jumped ahead of me there.
Sorry,
so
yeah. Well,
good, mate.
I knew that things had changed.
Yeah. So, I mean, regardless, you talk about rugby league and Supercoach eye test.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap, he looks good, doesn't he? He's like,
Yeah.
week one, they got pounded. He was one of their best, and he was just beating that first tackle every time. Had 6 tackle breaks in round one in a team that was thumped. He had 57 against the Broncos, 6 tackle breaks, 3 offloads. Not a lot of runs, I will say, which is probably the one thing. He had 11 runs in round one. He only had 9 in round two. So that's the one thing. But the other note on that, there was a lot of points scored in those 2 games.
Yeah.
Round two, a try assist, couple of try contributions. He had a couple of offloads, just the 2 tackle breaks. But like the few offloads he threw in contact for tries or line breaks and all that sort of stuff, he just looked good.
Mate, every run he has is worth 6 points. Like, he might not have many of them, but he will beat the first defender, and then he'll do the rankest offloads I've ever seen. They look disgraceful coming out, but he just makes it work.
And then sort of sit there and go, you probably don't want to pay too much money for him. Like, if he's a bit of tackle line, we don't know how the Roosters are going to go week in, week out. Like, he's $438K. He's very cheap.
Yeah, I'm really filthy with how this has played out. I was so excited about him on Sunday night. It is what it is.
All these CT dubs, like I don't have room there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, I think he's a very, very good play, Marky Mark. Okay, next one. Tino. If you don't have him, you listened to me in the 2 weeks and then you tuned out of Beers and Breakevens. This is another one I'm glad I fell on my sword for because he looks tremendous. Talk to me, Timbo.
Not a lot to talk about here, mate. 36 tackles. This is first NRL game back from an ACL injury in a 12-month layoff, essentially.
In the team going backwards.
Yeah. 36 tackles, 15 runs, 9 tackle breaks, 2 offloads, and a try. All of this against one of the best defensive sides in the competition in the Bulldogs at Belmore in a well-beaten team, 109 Supercoach points, 55 minutes in scorching hot conditions. Mate, like, seriously.
Pretty impressive, isn't it?
When I bought him, I was confident. I'm like, this should be great. I said all preseason, coming back from the ACL early on in hotter conditions, they'll ease him back into minutes. It could be a slow burn. Couldn't be been further from a slow burn.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm very glad I've started with him, and I think if you don't have him, you just have to get him in this week.
You don't have to this week.
Oh, sorry, no, you're actually right.
Yeah,
Yeah, the week after.
Because of the buy in round one, no price change for next week. You can get him this week, but I think there are more pressing trades this week. Just make sure you get him by next week.
No, I completely agree. I think you wait until next
Yeah.
week. Yeah, I forgot about the bye week one. He looks sensational, though.